What's up, playground? It's me, Shanila, and it is about that time. It is about that time in your journey where you outgrow your perfectionism. You ready for that? Like, are you ready to be in this moment in time where you're like, look, I think being a perfectionist is a loser activity and I'm done with it. I'm deciding to move forward from it. I'm deciding to have the tools and the regulation skills to be able to move through this thing that has been holding me back from whatever it's been holding you back from your art, your creativity, your job, your career advancements, the things that you want to keep experiencing in life, whatever perfectionism has held you back from, decide to outgrow it this season. Okay, but Shanila, I like being a perfectionist because it helps me stay small. It helps me keep safe. It helps me prevent myself from being rejected or feeling the icky things of, failures that I don't want to feel. It keeps me safe. It keeps me protected. And then do you feel good at the end of the day? That momentary moment where you have that safety of perfectionism, but do you feel good afterwards? What are the consequences of your perfectionism? Let's talk. Let's sit. Friends, if you're not already subscribed to the podcast, go ahead and subscribe and let's get into it. First things first is that perfectionism is a survival mechanism in the nervous system. So, however it is that you got to perfectionism, however it is that you developed that, however sprinklings of other things that you picked up along the way, it's not your fault for the most part. It happened because you had to survive. Because perfectionism at the core of it is a coping mechanism. It helps you stay safe. It helps you stay in a comfortable zone, even if your soul craves to be creative or do something different or take a risk or experience a different thing in life. Your body's like, nope, I think we're going to just stay right here because that's just what we know. That's our comfort zone. This is the box in which we exist in, and it feels safe and good to our body. So wherever it is that you developed your perfectionism from, whether it was your parents who were telling you stay safe, stay here, stay, in the safe zone, don't go coloring outside of these lines, pick a good career, pick a safe career, do the good things, be a good girl, be a good boy, have no problems or burdens for other people, do these things because it's better for us to not be able to deal with you doing things outside because it makes us feel afraid. Keep you here, stay here. Maybe it was your parents. Maybe it's programming that you picked up from society where you believe that you had to be here. You had to stay stay safe. You had to, be in the confines of this box because that's just what expected of you. That's just what society wants from you. That's just how it is. That's just people like you. That's what people like you do. Or however it is that you got to that conclusion of safety, that's how you got there. Maybe there were financial reasons why you made the decisions that you did. Perhaps there were physical safety reasons or emotional safety reasons or spiritual safety reasons for why you made the choices that you did. But now you're in a position where you decide to outgrow that. You get to decide that it's actually okay to color outside of the lines. It's okay to do something a little bit different. Maybe their blueprint is not for every single person. Maybe there's a soul blueprint that you're meant to follow, but you're not fully able to follow that because you're trying to follow other people's blueprints. Now, perfectionism as a coping mechanism is very sneaky because you start to believe all this narrative around why perfectionism is real, right? Like you want there to be, standards. But the type of perfectionism that you're dealing with has nothing to do with standards. It has to do with indecision. It has to do with the fear of being seen and experienced. It has to do with the fear of judgment. It has to do with the fear of failure. It has to do with fear. It has nothing to do with, hey, let me just have some standards and do something at a high quality. That's not actually perfectionism. That's just having standards. That's just having some kind of expectations and like quality assurance for yourself to the things that you want to do. Like the things that you make, like, yeah, make it look good. Have some kind of standards around it. Have some kind of, baseline for the quality of your work. That's not a perfectionist. A perfectionist is when you're preventing yourself from being perceived, when you're actually preventing yourself from putting it out there, because now you're on year 5, now you're on year 10, now you're on year 20, but still you feel this fear of putting yourself out there. in whatever way, shape, or form. Maybe it's not like your physical self. Maybe it's your art. Maybe it's your creativity. Maybe it's your music. Maybe it's your poetry. Maybe it's your book. Maybe it's your business. Maybe it's something that you have to offer to the world where you're just hoarding it to yourself. It's time to outgrow that. And the way that perfectionism protects us is that it's keeping us safe, because if we do put ourselves out there and somebody says like a nasty thing to us, like that hurts our feelings, no matter how healed or like, embodied you are, like it's like annoying to hear criticism or to, put your heart into something and then somebody's like, what's that? And makes a face or something that like really irritates you. It is a fear that we have, whether you're aware of it or it's happening in your subconscious. Our bodies want to protect us. Our nervous systems want to protect us. Our energetic bodies want to protect us too. So perfectionism is this like protector. It says like, hey, you don't want to feel all of this icky, yucky, gross things. So we're just going to stay in this box that we talked about. But now when you're overprotected, that's when we're running into the problem. Overprotection. Yeah, you should have safeguards. Yeah, you should have some kind of, checks and balances in your life. You should have things that are protective within you. But if you're going through life going like, hey, I'm under attack all the time and my fists are always up and I'm looking over my shoulders all the time and there's something bad that's going to happen to me, then that is going to cause you anxiety. That's going to be dysregulating and disorienting to your energetic body. Your emotions are always going to be up. It's going to be always activated. You're always on guard. You're always scanning for what people think, how people are going to perceive you, who's going to validate you, who's not going to validate you, who's going to choose you and who's not going to choose you. And your scanner is like beep, 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 beep. And at the end of the day, perfectionism is deeply rooted in your nervous system. And when your nervous system, which is basically a set of nerves that's always determining whether you're safe or not in all the ways, physically, mentally, spiritually, energetically, financially, socially, in all the ways, it's always scanning. Am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? And there's nothing in between. It's either a yes or a no. And if my energetic body, my nervous system decides that I am not safe, then I'm going to run programming that is from survival. And if I do decide that I am safe, then I'm going to have this more spaciousness to act upon the things that I want to act upon. And yes, there's privilege to that because some people grew up with family and support and stability in so many different ways, food security, financial stability, physical safety that allowed their body to relax a lot more than maybe somebody else who always had to be in survival. So it's not your fault that you came up with perfectionism. It's not your fault that you have that embedded in your programming. However, you can choose to outgrow that. That part is your choice. That part is your agency. And that part is your free will. So that sometimes also feels really scary because it's like, I'm a perfectionist. This is happening to me. It's almost like this ability or it's almost like this willingness to constantly give out your power. It's happening to me. Oh no, this is just how I'm programmed. This is just how I'm wired. This is just what the people in my family do. This is just how women are. This is like, and then it's like, all right, do you hear that victim mentality in there or no? You hear that, right? Like when you hear it being said to you in this like annoying tone, you hear that. Like you're not a victim to that. You get to choose that if these things came to you, perfectionism came to you, if perfectionism was essentially handed to you, through your lived experiences, through life, through society, through family, make the list. All the villains on your list, like make the list. And then what do you want to do about it, friend? What do you want to do about it? Like, are you just not going to make stuff? Are you just not going to sing? Are you just not going to create? Are you just not going to express? Are you just not going to, you know what I mean? Like in this day and time when you have the resources, because if you have access to this video, this transmission, this channel, you have certain levels of privilege, luxuries, and resources that you can tap into should you want to. Right? And it's like, oh my gosh, now am I the villain in my story? Am I the one who is keeping myself in a box because I'm comfortable there? To take myself out of this box means that I have to have different habits. I have to think different things. I have to do different things. I have to be a certain way. And I can't just excuse it to like, I just have perfectionism. Because that's how you sound every time I hear perfect. I'm like, that's just how it sounds to my ear. And maybe you start to hear yourself when you repeat perfectionism, perfectionism, perfectionism. Again, separating from having standards about something, especially when it comes to creativity. If you are an artist, a musician, if you are a dancer, if you are a performer, a healing arts practitioner, yeah, have standards. Please have some standards and some like quality control. We're not talking about that. Do those things with intention. We're talking about level 1. We're talking about step 0 to 1, 0.5. That moment in time when you don't even start the thing that you want. When you don't even put your hand on the pencil to write. When you don't even open the computer. That's not a quality control issue. That's a nervous system dysregulation. And because you're not in like faltering and collapsing while you're doing all of these different things, but you are. You just don't recognize that about yourself. So the path to healing this perfectionism is really about creating momentum for yourself that is based in devotion. Not discipline, not scolding, not forcing yourself to do things that you don't want to. In devotion, to have joy in the purpose that you are doing the creation for. Why are you making a thing? Why are you making music? Why are you making art? Why are you drawing? Why are you painting? All of this is useless. You don't have to do any of it, but you want to. There's a desire within you says, I want to make that thing. Okay, answer that desire. And if you force and bully that desire, if you're bullying your desire and you're just like, I want to do this, but I'm going to do this in the most uncomfortable, unpleasant way, and unenjoyable way, then whose choice is that? Why are you doing it in a way that you hate? Why are you doing it in a way that is so like bullying to your body, bullying to your time, bullying to your energy? Do you want to do things when you're bullied the whole time? Maybe you have that kink. I don't know you. Maybe that's your thing. In which case, pick that pathway. But for most people, we want to feel safe. Even in situations that are difficult and new and are triggering and challenging, we want to feel safe. And safe doesn't mean being coddled. Safe does not mean being coddled. It doesn't mean being like, it's too hard, don't do it. Self-care when it's really self-abandonment. I'll do it later when I know that's procrastination. Name it for yourself in a real devotional way. Because who are you fooling at the end of the day? Me or you? I don't fucking know you. Who do you want to fool at the end of the day? Your heart knows like you're lying to yourself. When you continue to lie to yourself and you know that you're ready to outgrow that lie, that's when you're in the big leagues. That's when you pull up your big girl panties and you start to live life. You start to make stuff because it's fun. You start to do things because there's enjoyment. And sometimes there's no purpose in what the fuck you're doing. You just do it because you like it. Bead something. For what? I don't know. Because you enjoy it. The colors were pretty. It was meditative when you did that. You get to gift it to your friend. There's this creation process that gets to be birthed and lived and experienced through you. Then now you're allowing that to happen. So here's what you do. I don't have a step 1, 2, and 3 because everybody's nervous system is so nuanced and everybody's perfectionism is so nuanced. You start to just observe. Observe the shit that you tell yourself, the lies that come up. I'm not perfectionist. Okay, well then let me come to your house and let me see what else you're a perfectionist about. You're not a perfectionist. You just have that ideology towards the things that you actually really care about because it means something to you. Because there's a weight to that. Because it has value to you. So your body's avoiding. What if I try my best and nothing happens of it? What if I try my best and somebody criticizes it? Am I going to be able to handle that? I tried my best and someone said, ew, that sucks. Why didn't you use green? You use blue instead. Like, oh, okay. Oh. And then it's just stupid comment, but like, doesn't it seep into your psyche? Doesn't it play in your mind? Didn't you feel it in your heart, your body? Your cells react to that. That's your nervous system. That's your energetic body responding to it. So that's how you start to notice, what is actually my reality here? Am I functioning from a place of survival because I'm just trying to keep it safe for me? And which is so endearing and vulnerable to say that I'm just trying to be safe, right? Like, I'm just trying to be safe. It's so endearing to just like admit that and simultaneously say, I think I am safe. I'm okay to be perceived. And maybe your way of being perceived is going to be nuanced for you. Maybe it's not, again, maybe it's not your face, your body. Maybe it's your writing, what you make, what you create, your art, this extension of you, the creation that comes from you, the extension from your physical body into tangible, manifestable reality. That's your creation, and that is tender. It's a vulnerable process, but we cannot outgrow perfectionism if we continue to lie to ourselves. We can't do it. It's just not possible. So I'll leave you here with this, an invitation to observe that about yourself. When you notice like the villain are the words that you are saying, the hypothetical audience that you are narrating and arguing within your head, it's like, oh, I can just choose not to do that? Easier said than done, but awareness is step one. You solve 90% of your problem once you know what the problem is, right? Like you have, a pathway to the solution once you know it's like, oh, I'm saying these things in my head over and over again. Oh, I'm calling it perfectionism when it's really I don't have devotional habits that gives me structure. Or I'm saying that this is procrastination when really I really need somebody to mentor me or to help me keep accountable. I need homework, and maybe I'm just not the one to give that to myself. Maybe I feel like I'm doing everything by myself and I lack community and I need a support system. I need somebody to, bounce ideas off of or have a soundboard. So it's not perfectionism, it's actually something else. It's not perfection. It's actually something else. You understand when you identify the actual problem, it's going to solve many of the grievances that you're going to have about the process. The process is the juice. Enjoy the journey. Have some joy and pleasure and have fun and excitement and curiosity and play, for goodness sake. Like, nobody's bullying you to creation. Nobody's bullying you to make stuff. You're the one who wanted to make it. You're the one who has that desire built in within you. So how you bring that out of you, how you put that into practice, have fun. It's the playground. Well, how do you want to do it? This way, that way, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Mix and match. I don't think you need to make one decision. That's a lie too. All right? So take a deep breath with me. Inhale in through the nose. And exhale out through the mouth. Beautiful. Now, I'll leave you with one last thing, which is that if you are a creative or aspiring creative who is ridding yourself out of these weird ass habits, come into Daydreamer with us. We're a 6-week portal for creative incubation where you're building your devotional habits, you're working with your nervous system, you're getting your projects through the pipeline of the idea to actually doing it, to actually creating a completion ritual around that. What does that process look like? You're working through your perfectionism, you're working with your shadows that come up, and you're doing it in a container with other people who have similar issues as you. Because all of us come from different angles, but we all desire to make and create. So if you are in this energy, I'm going to leave all the information in the show notes so that you can join me inside Daydreamer. And friends, just remember, the world is your playground. And until next time, I will catch you soon.